Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
Rex.
It's got like a bracing burst of cold temperature on my neck from this chain.
I'm collecting myself. You know how you know when you're in a deep, dark hole for hours on end, and then you emerge into the light and you're a little disoriented.
Yes. That's what you've been doing? All this editing? I used to do that.
Where am I?
When I was mixing not recording, but when you're mixing an album. All right, this is a gift. This is a Canadian whiskey, but it's a special edition. This is from Brandon Lang and Jamie Zook.
Brandon Lang and Jamie Zook, you magnificent bastard.
I've got a new move. Did you see my new move? I did the full hands back and the formal tilt.
You need a top hat.
I do, and a monocle.
Well,
I would straight up wear a top hat and a monocle.
Monocle's a little
absolutely
a little pretentious.
No, I totally.
I think you could pull off a top hat. I don't know if you could pull off a monocle.
I could totally pull off a monocle, no question. All right, this is Alberta Premium. I love that. That's the argument we get into. All right, Alberta Premium. Now we've had Alberta Premium before.
Okay.
We have one. Actually, I'll get it in a second.
Sure.
But this is 100% rye, and this is their cask strength release. So what we get to see is what happens when they just sort of let you try it like they're trying it.
Okay. Now, first question. In Canada, they throw around the term rye differently than we do.
No, but this is...
But I'm saying.
100% rye.
But
yes.
They throw around the term rye differently than they do in the U.S.
Some distilleries will release a whiskey that's not a rye whiskey, and they'll call it rye because in some circumstances, rye is basically synonymous with whiskey. It's like they've been listening to that song... Drinking whiskey and rye.
Yeah. Miss American Pie.
So,
drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Here we go.
Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and
Rye.
singing this.
I was trying to match the grit. All right, so.
Shh. This will be the day that I die.
This is the distillery where all of the American distilleries that are sourcing Canadian whiskey, this is mostly coming from Alberta.
Okay.
So Whistle Pig, it's mostly
right on,
Alberta.
right on.
It's
Are they still-
Jefferson's Rye.
Are they
That's
still
Alberta.
sourcing from... Is Whistle Pig doing their own stuff now? Or are they
Yeah,
still...
they're both.
Both.
They're still sourcing from Alberta.
Okay, all right.
From my understanding, almost half of what Alberta makes goes to other brands.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Sourcing Central.
Yeah, it's like MGP of Canadian rye.
Fair enough. Sweet, man. Just sweet and...
Very sweet.
Sweet and caramel dessert on that nose.
And baking spice. It's all spice, but not sharp spices. It's like bready spice.
Well, and
Sweet bread.
If you put this under my nose blind, it would take me an embarrassing amount of time before I landed on rye.
It has 65% alcohol.
Yeah. Hold brew. Mm-hmm. That does not smell like 65% alcohol.
Oh, taste it? It doesn't even taste like 65%.
On the nose,
What is the
when I
Canadian
hear
version?
rye, I'm thinking like the spicy herbal type of, This is just more sweet dessert caramel. I'm not finding that spiciness. Maybe I can convince myself there's some herbal quality behind there.
This is what we tried before. This is the Alberta Premium, which is not a great whiskey by my memory. 40% alcohol.
So there's that hint of the right herbalness on the taste. It's there.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's there.
Drink the original because I'm about to describe more things on the new one.
No, this is so faint.
Yeah.
Faint compared to the 65.
That's pure candy nothingness.
Yeah. And is this the same mash bill?
It's the same whiskey. It's just proof down to 40. Look, Alberta Premium. Alberta Premium, cask strength.
You have to hold it up to something white. And that's what proof does.
So, I mean, that's 50% hotter on alcohol content, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you add in all those things, the heavy oils that I think are in there allow for all of this other lingering spices to present themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of just be diluted.
The candy sweet dessertiness of this, it's not usually my wheelhouse, but
I just figured I think I know what this is.
there
Preserves.
preserves.
It's jammy.
But I'm still getting some of that rye herbiness.
Yeah, but it's jam. So imagine if you put jam, like a dark blackberry jam or something, on like more of a rye bread.
Right.
Right, and so instead of just jam, you're getting a bready jam with the character of like a whole wheat or like a grainy bread.
Yeah.
Kind of nice, right?
I like it.
If I had to
actually like
pick,
it.
I don't know how hard it is to get one of these.
This is probably one of my...
I could drink that as Canadian whiskey.
Yeah, one of my more favorite Canadian whiskeys.
And wouldn't necessarily put it in the category of like, well, I'm struggling with rye. No. It's like, no, it's just a Canadian whiskey that happens to be 100% rye.
Yeah, it's acting like it wants to be rye. Ryan Houchins. I've noticed that Rex's tastes have changed significantly from even a year ago. I believe the mooch has lost all power, and now anytime he loves something, I find it best for me to steer the other direction.
Whoa.
He has left the Bourbon Brotherhood and joined the Scotch.
Were you in the Bourbon Brotherhood?
What the hell are you watching?
Wait, is there a Bourbon Brotherhood?
There's a Bourbon Brigade.
Okay.
And then there's the Righteous. And then there's the various cults.
Other,
League of
Ardbeg,
Lagavulin, the
Lafroig.
But I'm steering him away from my whiskeys.
Yes.
More whiskey for me?
Maybe that's the long game here.
I wonder how my tastes have changed in the last year.
I'll give you two how mine have changed.
Okay.
One.
Talking about your taste.
I have come back to Speyside and really started to enjoy sherry cask whiskeys.
Yeah, right on.
And then also, I've started to find some ryes I kind of enjoy.
I am more open-minded about rye. Still not my immediate default go-to.
I still don't ever go to that shelf unless someone else is pouring it, and then I'll try some.
And I probably have gotten more into Irish whiskey within the last year.
Yeah, because you keep trying to find something else that's as good as Redbreast cask strength. And I've yet to find it.
Well,
the equal.
The equal
you've found a lot
for
of
that
things
particular note.
You liked Teeling.
Oh yeah,
you
no,
really
there's
liked
tons,
Powers.
Tons that I like, but for the maximum presentation of that super overly saturated, rich, buttery shortbread cookie, the Redbreast is kind of where it is.
How cool was it that he let us try from one of the barrels that goes into Redbreast 12?
Oh, yeah, it was lovely. Right out of the cask.
Right out.
It's a different animal whenever you get a cask. Totally different animal. Like so much. What we're talking about when we were in Jameson in the barrel house, and our guy was opening up barrels and pouring stuff for us, and it was a much fruitier character.
Way more sherry cask influence.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's no blending out. It's just right there.
Yeah, and I would say it was closer to like a Speyside or a Highland than I would have said a stereotypical Irish.
Yeah, I agree.
Fred's free time. First of all, you fellas are awesome. Thank you. I already like him better than Ryan.
The mooch has failed me.
Secondly, as a budding whiskey YouTuber, I'm wondering, is there anything you know now that you wish you knew when you first started making videos?
So I did have a question on this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... I mean, it's going to be hard for Rex to answer this question on our channel because all he's done on our channel is apply the things he's been teaching business owners for decades.
Right.
So there's nothing that you learned in that sense, right?
Yeah.
However, you did use this as a test ground to start figuring out which one of the YouTube recommendations are real and which ones are bullshit.
Right.
That's my question.
Sure. So honestly, whenever we first started creating content in the zeitgeist of YouTube, there was this window of time where you got to be doing daily or you're just going to get lost in the mayhem. It was leaning very, very heavily in the direction of quantity over quality. And now quantity still matters a lot. It does. But there's tons of examples of people who have less quantity and they're just leaning into quality. The sticking point is for you to develop an audience to get to that point where you're only coming up with something once a week, twice a month, once a month.
Right.
It usually means chasing the quantity game for a while.
Right.
Being
Build up the numbers.
So ever present, always in people's faces with another piece of good content. The quality always has to be there. But once you've built that audience, you have that momentum, you have that saturation, and you have that familiarity, and you have that routine with people where they're used to coming and checking and enjoying your content. Then a lot of YouTubers start to look at how can I take a step back from the daily grind and start increasing just the intrinsic quality of the things that people are watching and learning and experiencing in my channel. Yeah.
So be prepared that you may have to work your ass off.
Well, just
trying to build an audience first.
Just to get that breakthrough momentum.
Yeah.
Jim Lovejoy. Hi, Rex and Daniel. I'd really appreciate it if you could toast a bullet bourbon.
And I'm on it.
In my uncle's name, as he died today. Sucks, man, of cancer, and that was his favorite. So we don't got your uncle's name, but to the uncle of the Jim Lovejoy, Your bullet bourbon. Cheers to you and your life, sir.
Cheers. Yeah, I'd still come back to this over the Alberta rye.
See, I like bourbon. What the hell, Ryan? Freaking Ryan. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for a friend.
You steal, may you steal your liver's heart.
And if you drink,
may you drink with us.